So you may be wondering which spice rub we're going to use on the spare ribs today. Well, today we're going to go ahead and use the Caribbean brown sugar spice blend. And so we're just going to coat the ribs thoroughly on the front and the back. We're going to let them sit for about 15-20 minutes so that all of the spices get into the meat and the sugars break down and start to caramelize on the skin here. Okay, so here's the application of the spice rub on the ribs. If you notice that we didn't go absolutely heavy, and so this recipe will yield enough to cover one slab of ribs. So if you have two slabs, obviously double it and so on and so forth. But the key that I want to point out is when you're using a dry rub that actually kind of turns wet on the meat after it soaks in a little bit, is that you want to make sure that you don't overdo it, because if you put too much spice rub on meat when you're smoking and cooking it, it lends for a really nasty and gritty mouthfeel. So keep in mind, it is a spice. Use it as a spice. A little bit will go a long way. So as you can see through the video magic editing time lapse, the rub is now broken down. It's now into the meat, and it's time to put it onto the smoker. So now we've got the Adobo Fusion Mediterranean mixture from the rub that we created earlier on the chicken, and again we'll just let this sit for about 20 minutes. Hey, so we're out here at the smoker, and what we've got here today is a master-built electric smoker, and these things are really good when you want to cook a lot of food for a lot of people. We don't have that many people to cook for today. However, I do like the way that it works with the amazing tube smoker. Let's show you what that thing looks like. So let's open this guy up, and you can see all of the smoke that's been generated, all from this little bitty tiny tube that's here in the bottom. So I'll put a link in there. It's called Amazin. It's spelled A-Maze-N, and you say it amazing. And all you do is you light it with a blowtorch that's sitting up here. So I just use this butane and this blowtorch lighter, and the fuel that it uses is pellets. So we've got our baby back ribs that have been marinating now in this saran wrap that's been in the refrigerator, and we're going to wrap this and we're going to stick it on the top rack. We're going to let this go between 4 to 5 hours, and about the 4th or 5th hour we're going to cover it up in some aluminum foil to seal in the juices and finish the final cook to get them to fall off the bone. Okay, so you can see now we got the ribs on the rack. You can see how the marinade and the rub has actually now turned into almost a liquid on the meat, and that's just going to now catch and capture all that smoke flavor. So the first hour or 2 hours of smoking these are going to be the most important. So we're going to put them in here, and we're going to come back in about 1 hour, and we're going to spray it down with a mixture that we've made here of citric acid, some tang, and a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and we've diluted that all down with a little bit of water, and now we're just going to use this to keep the ribs moist. Alright guys, we're out at the smoker. It's been about an hour later. Time to check on those ribs and open up the smoke hatch here. Alright, not looking so bad. And alright, we're still actually pretty moist on those ribs. Well, I'm still going to go ahead and give it a shot. Spritz them down, and we're going to check on them in about another hour. So it's time to check on our ribs and chicken. Let's crack her open and see how they look. Alright, so the chicken's getting cooked pretty well, and I'm all steamed up here. And the ribs definitely need to be sprayed. Chicken's on point, so let's moisten things up here a bit. Starting to get a nice brown crust on the ribs, which is a good sign, which means they're almost done. Be ready to be, ouch, a little hot. Ready to be packed up. Alright. If you like this video, be sure to follow us on YouTube by subscribing to our channel, or follow us on Twitter, and you can also check us out on Facebook.